Welcome to our podcast, designed for psychologists, therapists, and counselors who want to take their business online and live a soul-nourished and profitable life without compromise. If you want to know the secrets used by practitioners just like you to navigate the global e-learning market successfully, then you're in the right place. I'm Dr. Talib, chartered psychologist, business mentor, and your host, and welcome to the Abundant Practitioner Podcast. In today's training session, I'm going to talk to how to condense the timeline of when somebody finds you to signing up for a client in terms of your outward activities of showing up. All right. So we're going to talk about how to condense the timeline of when somebody meets you to then becoming a client by what activities you are doing front facing that help them on board as a client. All right. And in that, I'm going to cover what it means to show up online and in socials, right? The idea of showing up on social media and how do you gain a presence where people are like, I want to hear what's being said. I want to know what's being said. This is the person I want to follow, right? This is the person I want to listen to more. And what does that mean in terms of your marketing flow? Yeah. So where I want to start with this topic is, number one, I always talk about, and you guys, if you've been following me for any length of time, you've heard me talk about mission, right? Know your mission. Your mission should light you up, right? It shouldn't be some fluffy statement. It should be like, I am here to help these people go to this outcome, right? Who are experiencing this challenge. But what I think is awesome and important to remember is that when you are declaring your mission, you have an empowered mission. You have a mission that helps rise people up, right? And you don't have a mission that when people hear it, it kind of feels like really like, oh, yeah, I want that help, but I hopefully can get that help. Yeah. So you want to be able to have a mission that is really compelling of like, I'm going to help you with this problem, get to this outcome, right? And you want to speak to the empowered identity of somebody, yeah? So when you're thinking about your mission, it should really light you up and rise them up and then wanting to kind of be like, hear more of the mission. Like, what? Wow, what's that? Right? So that starts with the mission, and your mission will evolve as you just get out there. So please, like when I talk about mission, don't go into like a hole of your own and stay there for like a month or months thinking what is the right mission to have. Just grab what the mission is that you have and just start getting out there and being mission focused. And being mission focused means showing up, right? So when I show up, how do I show up in a way that is gonna be like, wow, like disruptive in a sense, right? In a way that is like, oh, who's that, right? How do I show up in that way? Number one is to be you, right? Be you. Yeah, whoever that might be, right? If you are, you want to be you and you want to bring the energy. Right? Be you and bring energy. Yeah. So I think these are be you, bring energy. And the third one I'm going to talk about is really talk to the issue, right? Like if there is something that you are really advocating for, you're going to really talk to it. Like if you think about any kind of campaign or march or protest or like anything to really challenge something new, think of how people show up. If you think about even speakers that you admire or people that have like said a talk and you were like, oh, wow, that was just inspiring. Go and watch something and think, what did I like about that? What helped me kind of lean in? When you show up, you want people to lean in, right? You want that kind of feeling of like, tell me more. What is that, right? So how do I convey my information in a way that helps people lean in? Yeah, right? That's bringing the energy. That's being uniquely me, whatever that means to you. Yeah. And that's really conveying what you're saying with a level of importance. right? I remember speaking with some clients in the academy at one time, and sometimes from time to time I might listen to their calls, and I was saying, what you're helping people is is a really serious matter. But when I'm listening to you, it's like, yeah, I can help you, right? Like, and we've got to balance the frame of like, I can help you with this, right? Depending on what you're talking to. So, does your level of context of how you talk to your audience match what you're talking to your audience about? It's very important for those to match up so it to make sense. If I'm talking to someone about something really serious, I'm going to bring a serious tone to it, right? And there may be personality that you want to bring out to your audience that is maybe a bit more fun and playful, but there's a time and a context for that. And maybe it's something else that you might speak of that is a bit more in that context for another time. Yeah. And so it's really matching as well when you're showing up, that you are showing up in a way that matches what you're showing up about. Right. So that's the things to remember is be you, right? Show up in the right way with the energy that is required for what you're talking about, and be okay to just speak your truth, your belief, your context. Even it doesn't matter what anyone else might think about it. You can say, like, this is my perspective. Here's my perspective on stuff, right? You can say that, you can lead with that. Yeah. So be okay to speak up. I think it's especially in like where we are in society now, right? It can be feelings of like, will I say the right thing? Or will I say the wrong thing? Or what will people say? Or, oh my gosh, what if the comments are negative? Or what if the comments are positive? Or what if this happens or that happens? All you can do is speak your truth, right? All you can do is speak your truth from a place of love and not fear, right? From a place of possibility and change and not stagnation. And so it's about remembering and recognizing that I'm going to step up and stand out and speak my truth. I'm going to get visible with my truth. And I'm going to get visible over and over and over again because I'm here to make a difference with this mission. I'm here to make a difference with this mission. And so I need to be out there. Yeah. I need to be out there speaking about it and sharing it, especially with those people that are wanting to hear this stuff, right? And wanting to gain possibility around that. So those are the things I want to say there. And then the other things I want to talk about is I said at the beginning, I want to help you understand, how do you condense the timeline? Like somebody finds you and they could be a client of yours within potentially 24 to 48 hours. That is possible. Yeah, like somebody could find you, never knew you ever before, and they could be a client within 24 to 48 hours. It could be that somebody that finds you and never knew you before becomes a client within 7 days, right? It could be that somebody finds you and that never knew you before comes a client within 1 month period, right? That is possible. We've seen it over and over again, not just in my business, but also in our clients' businesses. So how do you shorten that? How do you have content out there that enables somebody to find you, never knew you before, and then be like, I need to go, right? What is that about? So number one is quantity of content and quality of content, right? It can take some people up to 7 hours of content before they make a decision. 7 hours of consumable content before they make a decision. So one of the things that can be important for you to recognize in your business is, have I got 7 hours worth of consumable content for somebody to like literally go through that could help them make a decision that that's what I want to do next? And if I haven't, then I need to build that, right? And you can build that through doing a weekly live show, right? You could build that by doing a 7-day event for 7 hours. You could build that by doing a podcast or being guest on podcasts, right? And you could create a one pager, right? Or you could create like a one pager which has different video elements of what you are about, which people could land on and see like you in action, what you're sharing, what you're talking about. They could literally binge that. If you don't have a podcast, right? If you have a podcast, then that's something that they could listen, and they're going to listen to episode, then next episode, then next episode, then next episode, right? They're consuming content. If you have a YouTube, they're listening to episode, right? If you don't have any podcasts or YouTube, but you have a social media presence, then your social media presence of you showing up, you want to build that up. You want to build that up. So you are building up your first 7 hours, or if you're pivoting direction and you've had presence, your next 7 hours is like around what your pivot's about. Yeah. So you want to build that up. And so reels are great. You know, we're in this reels piece. People's attention spans are short, right? They want short things. But how many reels would they need to see to build up to around 7 hours? Yeah. So reels are great. But if you could get in your business an ability to do a live workshop, a live event, right? Or a pre-recorded event, it doesn't have to be live. Yeah. Or you're doing a series of workshops or a series of live streams that are happening, you are now building up your content base, your messaging base, so that when somebody finds you, they can consume it of like, oh, wow, oh my gosh, that's what she was saying about that. I agree. That's what she was saying about that. I agree. That's what she was saying about that. I agree. Right. And now they want to connect with you. Yeah. So you want to make sure like that the content, that you have a mixture in your business of short form content and long form content. If you have long form content can easily be snipped into short form content, right? You can repurpose it, but you can do both. You could have long form and you have short form, right? Short form is like 60 seconds or less, or a couple of minutes. Yeah. And long form could be like 10 minutes, but it could be 20-minute slots. It could be 30 minutes. It could be 45 minutes, an hour. It could be a 5-day workshop, a 3-day workshop, 7-day workshop, that you building up your content. Okay. So when you build up your content, you're giving people an opportunity that once they find you, they can continue to connect with you immediately and be like, wow, this is the person. This is the person. This person's making sense. Now, with what you're sharing in your content, right, has to be something new. You know, like if you're somebody that is helping people with changing their relationship with health and well-being, right? Your content is not, I would hope, it's not going to be like, drink more water, it's good, yeah, and move your body, that's what you need to do, sleep better, because we kind of know that stuff. Yeah. So even if you're going to say that stuff, you need to say it in a new way, right? So you got to think like, how can I storytell about the importance of hydration in a way that they might not have even recognized before, right? And storytell of why they're not doing it. You might know this, but you're not doing it, and here's why, right? So you might want to put a spin on some things that people might have heard before to say it in a new way, to be disruptive, right? You don't want people to tune out by like, oh yeah, she just talks about the same thing, or he just talks about the same thing, or they just talk about the same thing that I've heard before. I know this, right? And so you want to be disruptive in your content by coming out with new hooks or lines or things that might just be a different way. Yeah. So those are the types of things that you're thinking of doing. And then the other thing as well is like, once people find you, so let's say you have like, you're going to do a workshop, or you're going to do an event, and you have a registration page, or maybe you don't have a registration page, maybe you just have like comment below to get involved in the workshop. Let me put down this. Yeah, so maybe you have a comment below to get involved in the workshop, right? And then you can get in touch with them. Yeah. So this is called one-word marketing, right? One-word marketing is where you might do a post and you're like, comment workshop below for you to get some more information, right? Comment workshop below and you can get some more information. then when people are responding, you can get in touch with them. The other things that people are not doing when they're showing up online is they're just showing up online and they're just looking at how many likes did I get? Did anyone comment? Is anyone interested? Right? And that's it. Like, that's the step. And then they show up again the next day. How many likes did I get? Did anyone like it? What happened? Let me try again, right? And hope with just this mindset of like, I'm going to just keep going. And then maybe one day it will go viral and all these people will find me. And what's important is that as you show up, you go back to your post and you look at who's responded, who's reacted, who's hand raised, because anytime somebody responds or reacts on your post is them putting their hand up to say, I agree. Yeah, that resonated. Yeah, I'm in that camp. Yeah, what you're saying is useful. So you want to spark conversation with them. And so, yes, you want to message them and connect with them and saying, that resonated with you. Glad that did. What resonated with you? And just start conversation and build relationships in that way. Yeah. That way, and once you start conversations, if you have a landing page, a web page, which has like 10 hours, or you have a podcast, or you have a YouTube, right? You can then be like, do you know what? If that resonated with you, why don't you watch this video I did, right? It's the third one down. And you send them this place of where there's other content. They're going to watch that video, and then they're going to watch another video, and then they're going to watch another video. And then on those pages, or in your podcast show notes, or in your YouTube show notes, you're going to have information about, ready to take the next step in your transformation. Click here and book a call, right? Ready to take the next step, to do this, right? Get in touch. How? So when they're looking at the information, they're naturally going to go and be like, I need to connect with this person. And you've already given them the call to action of like, this is what you would do next for us to talk about this. So that's really how you condense it, right? Is you create longer form content with empowering messaging that talks about their problem and their solution. But messaging that talks to the empowered person, right? Messaging that talks to, as well, that you want to connect with anything that you know about your avatar that may cause a delay tactic in their mind. So you want to have content around that as well, right? If you know that your avatar is pressed for time, you want some content about why them being pressed for time and why that they can't allow that to get in their way for what they need to do next. If you know that your avatar finds it difficult to make decisions, you want to have content that talks about the difficulty in making decisions and why you need to improve that so you can make some decisions that change your life, right? So you want to think about as well, have I got content? When I send them where my content is, have I got content that answers all of their objections? That they can answer all of their objections in that content, right? The content might have sparked them because it's like, they're talking about imposter syndrome and I've got that, right? And so they drawn to the content, or they're talking about how to get a good night's sleep because I'm not really sleeping. I want to look at that video. And then I'm looking at the next video and it's like time management. Yeah, I need that. And then I look at the next video and it's like how to empower yourself to make decisions that help you. I need to watch that video too, right? Now, before they know it, they're consuming an hour of you, 2 hours of you. They're going through the information and then they're like, I just need to book a call, right? Or if they haven't yet booked a call, you have noticed them and already started creating a relationship with them that you can say to them, hey, I've noticed you've been like consuming my content. I think we should talk, right? And so then you can help call them out as well into their best selves and into their transformation. So really, really important is recognizing just the people that are around you. Like I've been around in this marketing online world for a long time to notice that there are people that do things differently. That they're like, yeah, well, if they didn't want to buy my thing right away, I don't want to notice them anymore, right? Just move on, like spend more ads, find more people, right? We just want the immediate people. But some people are just in their readiness to change cycle in a different space. And it's like, how am I going to serve my business to really love and serve on them? And so that as they elevate themselves to be in a preparation to change and take action, right? That they meet me. They're like, I'm ready to take action. I've been empowered to take action. Where am I going to go? Whose name is last on my mind? Right? And so you want to make sure that you're being findable in a way that your name can become last on their mind. Do you have a weekly show? If not, get one, right? Do you, do you put yourself out there into other people's audiences? Yeah. Could you be on people's podcasts or speak somewhere or be a guest blogger or, be a columnist somewhere, right? Be on radio. There are ways to ensure, like, where do I need to go? Where are my people? So I can go and speak to them, announce my mission and just be mission led and get in front of them. And when I'm in front of them, I can guide them to where they can get more of me. And they can get more of me quickly, which then condenses the timeline to move them over to the other side. Yeah.